Hey everybody, after having watched a rather unfortunate dust-up between a customer and a company last weekend, which I'm sure if you watch this channel, you probably saw it too, on a Facebook forum. Although I'm not making any commentary on that situation and I'm not really I don't want to refer directly to it at all. I just want to give a few tips in this video for people who might be interested in going abroad, so to say, when ordering reeds. So I think there are some really helpful things here, some of which are very obvious, but nevertheless, I think I should state them here. The most important thing, absolutely, that you should be doing is you should be contacting the reed maker first before making an order. The things that we absolutely would love to know from you is what pitch do you play at? Do you play at 440 or 442? What make and model are your instrument? Are you playing a Colert flat back instrument from 1904, or are you playing a Fox 222 or a Heckel 16,000? You know, those things are important. Are you expecting the reed to be finished, absolutely 100% done? And also, are you a student? Are you an amateur? Are you a professional player? If so, if you're a pro, are you a first bassoonist or a second bassoonist? That is absolutely helpful information for the reed maker, which is going to ultimately give you a better product at the end of the day. You are going to receive something which is more attuned to your needs. Finally, and I think this is an important question to put onto the reed maker, what bassoon do they test their reeds on? Because they're not going to own many bassoons. They're going to test their reeds on their instrument, and it may be helpful for you to know what instrument they're using. The next thing, which is very important, I don't want to overstate it, but it is important, please use clear, good, and well-punctuated English. I say that not as a criticism to all of you out there who speak bad English. All I'm saying is please do that, because then that information can be easily Google translated to another language. Therefore, there will be no misunderstandings on that side of thing. Also, generally speaking, maybe stay in a more higher polite form of English rather than being a bit too informal. That may not translate exactly the way you might like. Now, I have to say this as a European immigrant. I've been here almost 12 years now. There is going to be a culture clash, right? You're going to speak to people who might be very cold, who might be very hot, or who might share too much, or maybe say something which isn't politically correct. And in any case, I would say simply just remain polite. That's all I can say. It may happen, it may not, you know. But if those things do happen, then don't be shocked by that. There is a different way of speaking depending on where you live here in Europe. Finally, I recognize that in this world of social media, that there is a real suddenly the consumer has been given a sort of power which they didn't have pre-internet, which is the ability, when something is really not going their way, when they were given a bad product, and the company refuses to refund them or to give them to make an exchange, that the ability to go on social media and to say, you know, I have been wronged, that's possible now, and I think that is a positive overall. That's a positive thing. It's another level of putting a check on bad business behavior. I hesitate to say this, but I do see it happening. People are quicker to make an open negative comment towards businesses or reed makers who live in Eastern Europe or Turkey, and the further east you go, the more people are willing to say to open their mouths about what they dislike about something. And whereas I think if the situation were if that same person were dealing with a company which was based in Western Europe, which was more of a household name, they might question whether that was really, you know, whether their negative experience was really the fault of that company, and maybe I'm not doing something right here, if only to avoid, you know, an awkward conversation at an IDRS conference or something. In any case, I'm just saying, you know, maybe if something can be fixed in the private sphere, maybe that's the best way to go. And finally, one thing which I have heard a commentary about from numerous people is people being surprised that a reed maker may use and in this case, I see it often a byproduct of using a Rieger tip profiler where a line is clearly visible where the rubber meets the road. You could say where the blade actually begins to make contact with the reed. And I don't have any examples because I don't have a Rieger tip profiler. But you do see it, and those of you who are watching, you know what I mean. But I have to say that many Europeans play in serious orchestras with reeds that look like that, without a blended tip where that line has been blended into the back of the reed. And so I know that that may be sort of shocking and may seem lazy to a North American player. However, I know many professional, respectable, fantastic players who play on reeds that just simply look like that. So I understand the criticism, but this is where, there's a culture clash, where there's an aesthetic clash, where there's a difference in how to approach playing the reed or the bassoon, which you may receive unexpectedly when ordering a reed from abroad. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you like these videos and you want to support this channel, then don't forget to buy a reed from bassoons.ch, the link is below, or become a patron via Patreon. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy. Bye-bye.